Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever found yourself stuck, in a situation where you just can't find the right English words? Well, today we are going to fix that. We're going to dive into some super useful phrases for everyday life.
Okay, so picture this. You're at the store, right? Or maybe trying to sort out a new phone plan, and your mind just goes blank. The words just aren't there. Sound familiar? We're going to change that today. We're going to arm you with the exact phrases you need to handle these moments like a pro.
All right, first up, the supermarket checkout. Your cart's full, you're ready to pay, and this is where knowing just a few key phrases can make a huge difference.
So you get to the front, and you might hear the cashier say something like this. It's their way of, keeping things moving. But what exactly is an express checkout lane? Let's break it down.
It's actually pretty simple. If you've only got a handful of things, this is your fast lane. Express just means quick. So a little pro tip for you, always check the item limit before you get in that line.
But what if you have, say, 16 items in a 15-item lane? It happens. Well, here's a super common, informal phrase you could try.
Basically, you're just asking them to be a little flexible. It's like saying, hey, please don't be so strict about the rules. It's a really natural thing to say in a casual situation like this one.
Okay, so maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. Next, you try to use some coupons to save a bit of cash, but then the cashier hits you with this word, expired. What does that actually mean?
When something's expired, its time is up. It's just no longer good. And this doesn't just apply to coupons or food, by the way. Think about important stuff, like your driver's license. That can expire too.
So, let's recap. You're in the wrong lane, your coupons don't work. Ugh. When you have a bunch of little things go wrong like this, there's a perfect phrase for it.
Yeah, this is what you say on those days when it feels like the universe is just not on your side. It's a super common way to talk about having a string of bad luck.
All right, let's ditch the supermarket and head over to our next spot, the mobile phone store. Now, picking a new phone plan can feel complicated, right? But knowing the right words, total game changer.
So you'll usually run into two main kinds of plans. First, there's prepaid. That's where you pay for everything before you use it. Then you have the monthly rate plan where you use your phone all month and then get a bill for it at the end. Pay before versus pay after.
Now, the salesperson starts telling you about this amazing deal. A free phone, unlimited data. It sounds incredible. Maybe a little too incredible. That is your moment to ask this super important question.
So, what's a catch? It's basically a hidden problem, a downside they're not telling you about. When you ask this, you're really saying, okay, this sounds great, but what am I missing? It's a really smart way to make sure you know exactly what you're signing up for.
To make the deal even sweeter, the salesperson might say this. Let's break down what throw-in and handset actually mean here.
If they throw something in, they're just adding something extra for free. It's a bonus to get you to buy. And handset, that's just another word for the phone. Simple as that.
Okay, for our last scenario, let's talk about something we've all dealt with. Computer problems? But trust me, knowing the right words to describe the issue makes getting it fixed so much easier.
So sometimes you take your computer in and the technician tells you something like this. The problem isn't that it's broken, it's just, well, it's old and it can't keep up with all the new stuff.
And you know what? There's a fantastic word for this exact situation. The word is obsolete.
When something is obsolete, it just means it's outdated. It's been replaced by something newer and better. Think about old cassette tapes or those giant VCRs. Sure, they might still work, but we have better technology now, so they've become obsolete.
All right, let's do a super quick breakdown of computer storage, because you hear these words all the time. Think of it like this. A megabyte, or MB, is the small guy. A gigabyte, or GB, is way bigger, about 1,000 megabytes. And then you have the terabyte, or TB, which is a huge 1,000 gigabytes. So it goes megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte. Small, medium, large.
Okay, now for maybe the most frustrating computer problem ever. You know the one. You're right in the middle of something important and bam! Everything just stops. The word for that is freeze.
When your computer freezes, your mouse pointer is stuck, you can't type anything, the whole screen is just locked. It's a really good word for it, right? It feels like your whole system is literally frozen in a block of ice.
And that's it. You've just loaded up your everyday English toolkit. Now you're ready to take on the supermarket, figure out a phone plan, and even tell someone exactly what's wrong with your computer.
So, now I've got a question for you.
Out of all the new phrases we just went over, which one are you going to try to use first? Seriously, think about it, because the absolute best way to learn this stuff is to get out there and actually use it. Thanks so much for joining me.